let's first of all start on Kane, shall we? I mean, what's at 2800s now, and he just, I really like the fact that he got first innings runs this time round because they're the hard runs, especially when you're centred on a relatively green pitch. So, tell us a wee bit about your impressions in the last 3 to 4 weeks of Kane Williamson in particular.
Yeah, well, there'd been, I guess, a few questions swirling around whether he could get back to his best form after that niggling elbow injury that seems to have lingered on for far too long. And then he had a few misses, as you said, those first innings. And were we going to see the best of Kane Williamson? And yes, absolutely we have. I think it just shows this last innings, it shows the benefit of time in the middle. He scored hundreds the last couple of tests, both being fourth innings of the game, which is an impressive feat in itself. But this last one, that was Kane at his absolute best. I think because of the way he goes about it, because of how understated he is, because of how he just accumulates his runs. It's never block bash, it's never all-out attack. It's just so measured. And you look up on the scoreboard and all of a sudden you go, heck, he's on 80. And then it just continues on from there. It was brilliant. It was commanding in the way that only Kane Williamson can be. And I think we almost take it for granted a little bit. We are so used to seeing him churn out runs. I think it's 5 years in a row now he's scored a double century. So it almost does just become, it is the norm for Kane Williamson. It is normal to turn up to the ground and expect to see him do it at some point in time. But, we are witnessing greatness. We are witnessing one of the best players going around in world cricket. He can definitely lay claim to being our best batsman. And we're just so used to seeing it that I think we've almost become a little bit nonchalant at just how impressive it is. But yeah, to sit down for a day and watch him just go about the work the way he does, he's brilliant to watch. He's beautiful. He's straight out of the textbook. He can go through the gears, it feels like, whenever he needs it, and he's got the best defence going around. So, yeah, to me, that's, if you're a cricket fan, you're a cricket lover, there's no better way to spend a day than to sit down and watch Kane Williamson pile on the run.
Now that he's fully fit, what have you made of Doug Bracewell in this Test match?
Oh, I like it. I like to see it. I think he's gone away. It's 6 years, just over 6 years between Test matches, which is a pretty long wait. So you'd expect to go back to domestic cricket and put a weight of runs and wickets on the board. So, and that's exactly what he's done. I think he's a better player than he was 6 years ago. I think he's got excellent control, and that's what he offers this Black Cap side. That's a little bit of something different. We've seen Tickner, yes, he's come in, he's had some good spells, but he even admits that control is not the element of his game that is the number one strength of his. You've had Neil Wagner, and he has performed his role admirably over the last few years, but he hasn't had that control in the last few Test matches either. So to have a guy like Doug Bracewell come in who just knows his game exceptionally well, knows exactly what he's about, can just run in and hammer away at a spot all day, I actually think he fits a really nice little posse in this group. I think it allows Matt Henry to be slightly more attacking. I think it allows Tim Southee to be slightly more attacking when he wants to as well, because he knows that he's got a guy that can just come in and bowl dry. And he's also got some wicket-taking ability. He's the kind of cricketer that makes things happen. So I like to see the selection. I think he's really improved his batting. His first-class average is up to about 30 now, and he's got a few hundreds in his back pocket. So it adds another level to that batting side to have a guy who's coming in, who's got a bit of firepower, who's got the ability to hang in, and he's just a pretty gutsy cricketer. So I like the selection. I think it fits well. I'm not sure whether he'll be a shoe-in for the remainder of the... there's no more tests remaining in the summer, but I'm not sure if he'll be in that squad for Bangladesh when they head over in November. But I think a horses for courses selection. I think he can fill multiple roles across the team, and I think he's, so far he looks right at home.
You're a studier of strategies and tactics. You've done a bit of captaincy in your time as well, Frankie. Tim Southee as a Test captain. Now we're starting to get a really, we've had, 4 tests in a row basically here. We're getting to study him a little bit more. What have you made of him as a captain in, say, comparison to a Kane Williamson?
I don't think there's been too much difference, if I'm really honest. I don't think that he's come in and done things drastically different. We haven't, the likes of, you see with England, again, we reference them, but Ben Stokes coming in, there's just such a noticeable difference in how he wants to do things compared to a Joe Root. I don't think you necessarily see the same. He's ever so slightly more attacking inclined, I think, than Kane. But he's also a captain coming into a side that's got a pretty good record, that things are ticking along pretty well. You've got an experienced core group of players who played a lot of cricket together, know what they're doing, know what they're about, know the rough plans that they're looking to execute. So he's almost just leading the way, just allowing them to have control over what they want to do. But he knows how to pull the reins as well, that's for sure. He knows how to, when he wants something done, knows how to get it done from his players. I think he's doing a good job. The only thing that I would criticise him on is his use of reviews. I think at the moment he's almost scared that he's not going to review one and it is going to be out. So as soon as anyone gives him any indication that maybe it's close-ish, then that's good enough for the fast bowler. But maybe that's just what all fast bowlers are like. They think everything's out. So yeah, I've been interested to watch how he goes. I've enjoyed the way he's gone about things. I think he hasn't let the game drift for periods the same that perhaps we've had a little bit under Kane Williamson. That was probably the criticism that got levelled his way. And probably the thing that I've enjoyed is actually that he goes to a spinner a little bit more often. Michael Bracewell hasn't always been in excellent form, hasn't always performed the role perfectly, but he's been prepared to say, well, now's the time to try and take pace out of the game. We're going to give you catches all around the bat. We're going to try and allow you to be successful, and we're going to let you whirl through some overs. And if you take a bit of tap, that's okay. This is what we want to do. This is how we're going to do it.
SENZ